Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Derek's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's me, Mr. FSP, doing what I do because I do it for you all day, every day, on the weekend as well. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, things of that nature. Look, we're heading into 2026 in 3 days. In 3 days, a whole new year. 2025 has been devastating to a lot of folks. It also has been great for others. What we all have to learn is life will continue whether we're here or we're not. So make the best of it, but be smart about it. You know, just because the year's ending doesn't mean you go out and get blitzkrieg drunk or anything like that, or do something silly or stupid. Understand whatever it is you're doing, it affects someone in some way, positively or negatively. So make sure to be that person that's positive. Enjoy your family, friends, or whoever loves you. If that's just you, love yourself. Nothing wrong with that at all. Do your thing. I want to say the football season has been rather kind to me at points. I am in the championship of 4 or 5 leagues. I'm in the third place matchup in about 2 leagues. And, you know, I got eliminated from several other fantasy leagues. I did. My teams didn't show up. And 2 weeks in a row, I'm going to say this, 2 weeks in a row. Last week, Puka Nacua put up 85 points on me in my league. I found a way to come back. Thank you, Jesus, right? Yesterday, the Ravens decided to give Derrick Henry the ball and treat him like the royal king that he has been all season. So guess what? Yet another hurdle I have to come over with my team. Hopefully I get it. If I don't, that's fine. The person that I'm playing against, George, respectable guy, had nothing negative to say about him. And I, you know, if he beats me in the championship in my league, that's fine. I've gone to the championship many times in my league. I've never won my league. It hurts. It hurts. And I've been doing this league for almost 20 years. I've never won my own league, but I've been to the championship many times. Hopefully this is the year, right? With that being the case, like I said, I got George I'm going against, and he's been respectable. He has been someone that follows the rules and is someone that I believe is good for business, so to speak. But we'll see what happens. Please let me beat him. I want to win this league. So let me change what I said. I've won leagues I've run before. It's just this particular one I've never won. And it hurts me to my heart because it's the one that outside of another, I'm the most active in talking in. They also know a lot of my moves because we've been playing fantasy football with each other for, oh my God, 15, 20 years. So I've tried to change it up a bit in there and do some things I normally don't do. And it gets me to the mountaintop, but somebody always plants that flag before I do. Hopefully that changes this week. But on today's show, we're going to talk about the Christmas games. We're going to talk about yesterday's Saturday games, and we're going to talk about today's games, Sunday's games. I'm also going to touch on the college football playoffs. The reason why I want to save that for last is because there's also a topic in there about Michigan that I want to discuss. Um, should I start with that first? Nah. Let's get to what I was last week, right? And you guys know I got to find my music, right? I got to find my music. Let me get my music. Let's get this music going. What type of mood am I in today? You know what? Let me turn this down before it hurts y'all ears and mine. Let me go. Okay. So I didn't do too well last time. I'm looking at the games. I didn't do too well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I didn't do well. I didn't hit double digits. But let's talk about what happened this week. So let's start with Christmas. Travis Kelce and the Chiefs lose, right? The thing about that, Travis Kelce and the Chiefs, because it didn't say Pat Mahomes didn't play, right? They have not been that good all year. Losing Pat made it even worse. The Broncos have a serious Super Bowl contending defense. The offense, on the other hand, not so much. When you have a quarterback for the Chiefs that played, it wasn't a pretty game. It was not. I think the quarterback threw for maybe 115 yards, maybe less, something like that. And that makes it easier for the defense. So naturally, I picked the Broncos to win that game. I'm not a Broncos fan, but I picked every team to win that was going against either a rookie or a third string quarterback or a backup quarterback. Didn't work out in both cases, but in all three cases, but it is what it is. So the Broncos win this game, right? Not a big deal. We're 1-0. I love my team, the Commanders. But when I learned that Josh Johnson, who's only won like maybe 4 or 5 games in his entire NFL career, was going to be the quarterback for the Commanders, I knew we had no chance. But I had already made a bet with somebody prior to learning this information. So, of course, the Cowboys win. It was close. Almost a comeback by Washington with Josh Johnson. I'm 2-0. Then the dirty dog Detroit Lions. Look, man, I know they're eliminated. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl or the Rams. I'm riding with the Rams, period, right? But I don't know what broke down with Detroit. I do know this. Ever since Amon-Ra St. Brown did that little shimmy in Washington for a certain somebody, Detroit's like 2-5. I'm not saying that's the reason why. I'm just saying whenever you do something like that with somebody like that, things like this happen. I'm just saying. We're going through it as well. But the Vikings win, Detroit loses. I'm 2-1. Now, I told you guys Houston was going to go on a heater. I told you guys about 5-6 weeks ago Houston was going to win the South. Once I saw that defense step up like it did, they're dragging the offense with them. They are dragging. The Chargers got beat. They got beat. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, missed some kicks that he normally wouldn't miss, right? Turnovers, like the last 2 minutes of the first half was crazy. Turnover. Can't score, missed field goal. You know, a lot went down. But the Texans defense stepped up. They did their thing. The Chargers may be one and done. Omarion Hampton is a great back. Offensive line is decent, but it doesn't seem like Justin Herbert is going to be able to do much behind the passing of that offensive line. Running, they're okay, but teams know they're going to run the ball, so they load it up and dare Herbert to beat them. With Johnson, with Allen, and Ladd McConkey. Now, if you notice, Ladd McConkey has not been getting anything. What, he had like 3 receptions yesterday? Normally, Ladd McConkey's in like 6 targets, 6 catches at least. The passing game has floundered. Aronde Gadsden Jr., or the third, I believe he's the third, dropped several key passes to keep the chains moving. Anytime Justin Herbert has to keep running for his life and running to get first downs, and I believe he led the team in rushing, that's not a good thing. Chargers might be one and done. Texans, they're setting up that game. If Jacksonville, I believe Jacksonville has to lose. Something has to happen. But next week, Jacksonville and the Texans are for the South title. Now, both are already in the playoffs. This is to decide who's going to win the division next week. I'm telling you, Houston is on a heater. I would not be surprised. Listen what I'm saying here. I would not be surprised if Houston or Pittsburgh come out of the AFC for the Super Bowl. I would not be surprised. I didn't say Denver because I think there's some problems there in Denver. I think there is. And for all the problems Houston has, I think they are a better overall team than Denver. Denver's defense is spectacular. So is Houston's. But I like what I'm seeing about Houston's offense. It's moving the ball. It's doing it decently. Hold up. I got a lot of people saying stuff. Okay, here we go. Autry, hello. What's going on? Super. Germany. Yeah, you're still streaming. Yes, Slurp Gang, whoever you are, I'm still streaming. Coach, he's a Cowboy fan. Coach is a Cowboy fan. And he's the guy I lost money to on my Commanders Cowboy bet. Why are you doing this to me, Coach? That's all right. Slurp Gang 6'7". It's got to be one of my students. It's got to be one of my students. Yankees? I don't care about the Yankees. I'm going to put that 6'7" stuff up there. All right. Jason, what's up? How you doing, Jason? Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you. All right, let me get back to my analysis real quick. I had a feeling some people were saying some stuff, so I had to jump over here real quick. All right. Like I said, the Texans got them going to the Super Bowl, if not Pittsburgh. I don't believe the Patriots are going to sustain all the way through. Buffalo is the most experienced team in the playoffs right now. Think about it. Buffalo on the AFC side is the most experienced team that has made the playoffs thus far from the AFC. If they don't win or go this year, they're not going, bro. Pittsburgh has not gone into the playoffs past one game. Even though they've made it, they haven't gone past one game. Buffalo has gone to the championship several times. Buffalo is the most experienced team. I'm going to break them down a little bit. Let's get to the game that broke my heart last night. I don't care about Green Bay. Green Bay just let Chicago win the NFC North. I don't care about that. What I care about is the 41 points that the Ravens put up on Green Bay and gave the ball to Derrick Henry like there was nothing. Like, this is what they should have been doing all season long. But they wait to my championship game to do it. And I'm going against Derrick Henry. Yeah. Wow. 41-24. Packers, I believe they still are in the driver's seat for the last playoff spot, or the second to last playoff spot, which is number 6 or number 7. 6, 7. Yeah, I get it. But if they lose again, that's going to be a problem. They might not make it. Last game of the season, you never know. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Ravens needed to win this game. They also need some help. They need Cleveland to beat Pittsburgh. We're going to get to that. So let's talk about it. And I lost that game. So for the 5 games, 1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. Let's talk about that Cleveland-Pittsburgh game. Cleveland has notoriously played Pittsburgh close. The door has not looked that good the last couple games, but neither has the defense of Cleveland. This is not the game for Cleveland to fold their tent up and just say, look, we're going to let Warren and Gainwell run all over us and catch all over us. They got to stop it. But Cleveland also has a problem at the running back because Jenkins is out. Sampson, Sanders, and I forget the other guy. They have a running back by committee, right? But they still are lacking a decent receiver. When your best receiver is a rookie tight end, things are going to be tough. Now, you're in Cleveland. You're at home. Great opportunities, right? But Pittsburgh has a chance to win the AFC North in this game. This is a hat and t-shirt game for Pittsburgh. They don't want to play Baltimore next week to decide who wins the division. They don't want to do that. I bet you if they have to, Lamar plays. I bet you. I wish he played yesterday. Could help the brother out. But it is what it is. The Steelers, you know, they are a team. They're without DK Metcalf. Gone for the next 2 games, which one could actually be the AFC North title game. But they have Adam Thielen. Oh my gosh. The kid that was always in Kansas City and always drops it. Valdez-Scantling. And they use Kenneth Gainwell pretty well out the backfield as a receiver. They still got those big tight ends. They're going to be without TJ Watt. I think they'll do fine getting pressure on Shedeur. But for some reason, Pittsburgh's run defense has not been that well this year. I think this is a game where you let the backs control the game if you're Cleveland. Right? You may limit Shedeur to 25 passes. He'll hopefully make the best of them if the receivers catch the ball. But Pittsburgh, they're going to try to win this game. They are going to win this game. And I like Cleveland's chances next year if Shador is there, but I got a feeling Kevin Stefanski's going to make it an open competition. Dylan Gabriel, Shador, and hopefully they'll set him up for success and Shador wins the job. Or if they go out and get somebody or draft somebody, or, oh my God, they keep Deshaun Watson. We'll see what happens with Cleveland. But I got them winning this game. I mean, I got Cleveland losing this game, right? From there, let's start with Seattle and the Panthers. I slept on the Panthers. I absolutely did. I absolutely slept on the Panthers. However, the Panthers disappointed me last week. When I bet on them, I thought they were going to do well. The Saints defense has decided they wanted to play the last 3 weeks. Hopefully they do it again this week, right? I will say this. If the Carolina Panthers are for real, this is not the game to prove it, but you need this game to take a strong, commanding lead and control of the AFC South. You win this game, Tampa's going to need some more help, right? But Seattle, they started to run Walker more. They get it. It's cold. Nobody wants to hit a big 220-something pound bat in the hole, and they're throwing the ball. Zach Charbonnet, he vultured 1 or 2 touchdowns, I believe, over the past couple weeks, but he has not been that big of a factor as Kenneth Walker has been the main guy. Couple that with the defense, it's wild. But this game is in North Carolina. It's on grass. I don't know what the turnout's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a lot of people or little people. I don't know. I just know that in this game, Seattle has got to come out, establish its dominance quick, because both teams have strong defenses. Seattle has the far better offense, but if their defense, if the Carolina Panthers defense steps up and starts doing what it has done over the past 4 or 5 weeks, it's going to be problems for Seattle. I'm picking Seattle because this is a game they should win. They should win. Let's go with Seattle. Next game on the docket. Let's travel to Cincinnati, y'all. Arizona taking on Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, and Chase Brown. I've been calling this dude Chris Brown forever, right? I'm like, you look like Chris Brown, but Chase Brown. Jacoby Brissett disappointed a lot of people last week, especially people that picked him up. If he was still on the waiver wire or found a way to get him. I was blessed to have dropped him just in time. But this is a game where he's going to throw for 300. Listen to me, guys. If you're looking for a same game parlay, Arizona versus Cincinnati is that game. I expect it to go over. I expect Burrow to have one hell of a game. Chase and T to have a hell of a game. I also expect Jacoby Brissett and McBride to connect a lot. That kid Carter, woo, Carter's gonna get off. He's going to get off. Watch, he's gonna get off. Now here's the question: Marvin Harrison Jr., is he playing or is he not playing? I don't know. But if not, Wilson has proven that he can be that guy for now. Is he the main guy? No. But he's proven he can step up. All right? I think this is going to be a track meet. And then just like every track meet Arizona's in, they look good for 3/4 around the track. But in that last 100 meters, they fade. I'm taking the Bengals. to win that game. High scoring game, by the way. This is a game that is needed, right? Already told you, the Texans are 11-5, right? Jaguars 11-4. If the Jaguars win, they'll be 12-4, setting up that last game of the season where Houston has to beat them to win the division. Simple. Either way, win or lose, next week's game between Jacksonville and Houston is for the division title. But the Jags have a bit of a buffer if they win this game. They'll come in a half a game up. So in the event of a tie, Jacksonville still wins the division. They'll have the better record still, right? At 12-4 versus 12-4-1 versus 11-5-1. But it would make sure that Houston has to win. Colts, Old Man Rivers, he's looking like, with a good camp and a little bit of weight loss, he could probably play again next year. Probably. But they've gotten away from Jonathan Taylor. You got to run Jonathan Taylor, guys. Jacksonville, when they get turnovers, they win. When they run ATN and Tootin, they win. When Sunshine decides to run the ball a little bit, they win. What's up, Deanne? How you feeling, girl? Yeah. What's up? But the Colts, they're out the playoffs, right? They can't win the division. They're not gonna look. Even at, let's say they win these next two games, 10-7, they're not making the playoffs in the AFC, unless they were in the AFC North. That's the only way they were getting the playoffs. Because right now, if I recall, the Chargers are 11-5, and they are like the 6th or 7th seed. It's not happening. Because Buffalo is right there too. Telling you. I got Jacksonville winning this game, setting up that big game at the end of the season between them and Houston. Let's go to the Bucks and Dolphins. Now the Bucks need to win this game. They win this game, they're back in it for the division title if Seattle beats Carolina. So this is a must-win game for Tampa Bay. Must win. Dolphins are 6-9. Have they saved Mike McDaniel's job? I don't know. I honestly don't think they have. Brock Ewers is not, the savior of them, but I don't think they've saved his job. Tampa wins this game, and it's going to come down to whatever it is, the last game of the season, between Tampa Bay and Carolina to win that division. Tampa wins it. Patriots are 12-3. I told you guys. If you follow me during the summer, people laughed. Certain people, several people, and said, "You out of your mind. Patriots aren't going to win nothing." I said they will win between 9 and 10 games. They've gotten 12 already. I also said the Jets will be a lot better than what they are. So take that with a grain of salt, right? 12-3 versus 3-12. I can't tell you how important this game is for Aaron Glenn. I don't think Aaron Glenn gets fired. No. I think he needs this win to give some confidence to this team and say, look, the Patriots turned it around in a year. they build champions in New England. Let's build a champion here by knocking these guys off. They haven't won the division title yet, but if they win this game, I think they're one more game closer, and I think they do win, regardless of what Buffalo does. I gotta look at the records, but I think Buffalo is 11-4, and Patriots will be 13-3. So we'll see. Because if they become 12-4 and Patriots are 13-3, it's still a 1-game difference. And I can look ahead to see who they play at the end of the season to decide who's going to win the division. But the Patriots win. They beat the Jets. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. This game right here, two teams I don't like. But I'm finding out, thanks to Lamar not playing, my fantasy hopes in my league not even coming down to Sal or Ward. I am not picking Ward up. I refuse to do it. And with the way the Saints defense has been playing, it wouldn't be smart to do so. But the Saints and Titans, even though these teams are bad, Saints are 5-10, Titans are 3-12. Both teams have been playing very good lately. Very good lately. And with the Saints, Sal has started to look like a really good quarterback. Now, Chris Olave, he's questionable, nicked up, might not play. He's probably going to play, guys. Probably going to play. Because he's been what's making Sal look so good. I don't know why he just now discovered him, but he has. Titans have discovered a run game. Again, something I thought they should have been doing a lot sooner. Just because the kid has arm talent doesn't mean he's going to make the best plays. But when you run the ball, you give him a better opportunity to make plays. And Pollard has been on a heater. He absolutely has. Does that continue versus the Saints? I don't know. It's in Tennessee, so outdoor elements. Tough game, even though who really cares game, but it's a really good game. It's tough. I'm going to go with the Saints. Tough matchup, though. Giants and Raiders. Here's where I was going with this, guys. Since Lamar didn't play yesterday, the waiver wire is scarce at this point. And in my league that I run, you start 2 quarterbacks. And I have a rule. You cannot hold more than 2 active quarterbacks on your roster. Now, if one's on IR and you grab, another, that's fine. But you can't have 2 active. I was holding out hope, y'all. I was holding out hope that he would give it a go. He didn't. And someone picked up Sal because I wanted to get Shuck. I should say Shuck. And because that's what I wanted to get. I ended up getting Geno. I have to trust Geno versus the Giants. 2-13 versus 2-13, and the loser gets the first overall pick. They shut down Max Crosby. That's a hint. They're not trying to win. But I need Geno to give me a decent game. I do. So with that being said, I actually think the Giants overall completely are the way better team. Way better team. So unless the Raiders are just going to literally lay down, I don't even know if this is on the daggone betting sheet, because somebody's going to lay down to get the first overall pick. Giants don't need it. Get the number 2 pick is good because they've already got a good nucleus. I'm just saying. Raiders, do something for a brother. Shake something for a brother, please. I'm picking the Giants, though. All right, next game, Eagles and Bills. Look, like I said, the Eagles are 11-4. I mean, not the Eagles. Eagles have won the division. Buffalo Bills are 11-4. They need this game. They need this game to make sure that the Patriots don't win the division. Remember, New England's split with Buffalo, right? Point differential, I think Buffalo has they won by 1 more point than New England did when they played the second time. So it's going to come down to the final week. If Buffalo can beat Philly. Philly has some problems, but this game, I believe, is in Buffalo. Let me make sure. It's in Buffalo. It's in Buffalo. The Bills need to win. Philly doesn't. Philly doesn't. But if you want to use week 18 as a rest week or a bye week for your players, Philly, you win this game. If not, you're probably going to play them for a half, week 18, and then get ready for the playoff game, which is going to be the following Saturday. I mean, stakes are high for both teams. You win the game, you get probably the 2 or 3 seed, right? Because right now, Seattle, and you can't have not 2 or 3. I'm sorry, the 5 or 6, right? The 5 or 6 seed. If you're no, you can get the 2 seed because you're Philly. Philly won the division. If Seattle loses and the Rams win, right? You hold the tiebreaker over the Rams if you're Philly. And you get the number 1 seed. However, if Seattle wins out and Philly loses one of the 2, you're the number 2 seed. Right now, as we speak, Chicago's the number 1 seed. Not going to remain that way. It's not going to remain that way. Right? I'm just going to put it this way. I think Buffalo wins this game because they have to win this game. Not because they're that much better than Philly, but because they have to, and they're playing in Buffalo. I got to see how Philly rocks in that snow and in that bad weather. I got to see it. If they don't do as good as I think, I'm sorry. Buffalo wins, and Philly, you're not going back to Super Bowl. I already said you're not. But that's going to be my thing. I think Buffalo wins this game. Right? Let's move on. Sunday night, Bears, 49ers. Now, the Bears have already won the NFC North. They win this game, they're in the driver's seat for number 1 overall going into Monday night where the Rams play the Falcons. But the 49ers can also become the number 1 overall seed. Crazy, right? So Seattle, the Rams, or the 49ers can be the number 1 seed. Carolina beats Seattle, right? The Falcons beat the Rams. 49ers beat the Bears. 49ers are the number 1 seed going into the last week of the season. Crazy. I know. The Bears, they could be playing for the number 1 overall seed, but they're in San Fran on the road. They're down their 2 receivers. I think Burton comes back. Luther Burton comes back this week, but Rome is out. Personally, I'm playing Caleb for a half, seeing how that half goes. If that half is okay and you guys are clicking and you got maybe, let's say, 14 points, right? Caleb does not play the second half. He doesn't. I don't care about the outcome. Why? Because I've already won a division. I'm locked in at 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if I'm number 4, I get to play, let's say, if it's the Rams or Seattle, at home. Both teams don't play well in cold weather. So I'm okay with that. Seattle plays well in the rain, but in the snow and in frigid temperatures, no, they do not. No, they do not. That's me. But I got the 49ers winning this game, man. I need Christian McCaffrey. Listen, I need a lot to happen to win my own league, right? But I need CMC. At least 3 touchdowns. Over 150 rushing. Maybe 60, 70 receiving. I need this to be a Christian McCaffrey. I'm winning comeback player of the year. I'm the true MVP of the National Football League. Not Matthew Stafford. Not Drake May, even though we understand it's a quarterback-driven award. But CMC literally deserves to be the comeback player of the year and the NFL MVP. Think about what's going on in San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan, coach of the year. I know Liam down in Jacksonville might get it, but think what Shanny has done with a decimated team, and only one player has kept them afloat. CMC. He's definitely the team MVP, but he is the guy that brings the milkshake to the yard. He's the guy that has been keeping freaking San Fran relevant. I got it. You had a quarterback come in there and do some good things with Bourne and all that, but the common denominator was CMC. They've lost pretty much their defense. That's my lobby for CMC to be the league MVP and definitely comeback player of the year. No doubt in my mind. But we'll see what they vote on. 49ers win. Monday night, look. This is the save face, guys. This is save face. Devontae Adams has been shut down. Puka Nacua, he murdered me. Well, I won the game, but now I'm facing him in another league in the championship against the Falcons. The Falcons, they've had a very good team. They've squandered a lot of victories, literally last few plays, last quarter. They played very tough. Now, Kurt, he may or may not be in Atlanta next year as a backup because he's still under contract. But I don't think Kurt's going to do that well versus the Rams defense. I think they're going to tighten up on Kyle Pitts. Drake London, if he plays, great. If he doesn't, okay. But he needs him. He needs Drake London. And Bijan Robson has got to be the straw that stirs this drink. He's got to be. Because the Rams, if you let Stafford and Puka get cooking, oh my God. And with Adams down, last week we thought Parkinson was going to be that guy, right? This week, definitely he should be. Definitely should be that guy, right? We'll see what happens. Oh, and in I'm picking the Rams. But in the 49er Bears game, it's highly unlikely that George Kittle plays. Now, Tom is a good tight end, but in your fantasy playoffs, in your fantasy championship, that's a killer. Who do you have on your bench or who's on the waiver wire that you can grab? I grabbed Parkinson. That's what I did. So we'll see. But let's recap. Rams, Bears, Bills, Raiders. Excuse me, not Raiders. Let me start over. Let's run it back. Recapping. I picked the Rams, I picked the 49ers, I picked the Bills, I picked the Giants, the Saints, the Patriots, the Buccaneers, Jaguars, Steelers, Bengals, Seattle. And I had already picked the Packers, so I lost that one. Picked the Texans, won that. Picked the Broncos, won that. Picked the Lions, I lost that. Picked the Cowboys, I won that. So those are my picks for Week 17 in the NFL. Look, it's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt, right? All fun and games. Protect yourselves in Week 17, NFL players, because if you're going to the playoffs, you got a lot to play for. If you're playing in your fantasy championship, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. I'm telling you, if you are on the fence like me, I had to put in Geno. Lamar's been carrying my team along with, the rest of my team. I got to depend on Geno. I think I overthought it. I should have dropped Lamar and took the chance, took the gamble, and picked up Sal, because I think Sal's going to have a very good game versus Tennessee, even though the defenses are strong. Geno versus the Giants was my backup, because I'm like, both teams, But I think the Raiders are going to throw the ball more. I think. But don't overthink it, guys. Don't overthink it. With that, I wish you all luck in your fantasy football championships. It's not like you got lots of money on it. Maybe you do. But let's talk about something serious, guys. I got to put on some troubling music for this one. So, college football playoffs, right? You had Miami upset Texas A&M. Now they go to Ohio State, right? This is going to be wild. It's going to be wild. I've got to tell you, after looking at everything, I really think Miami has a shot at beating Ohio State. I know it sounds crazy. I know. I really think they do. Right? Oregon plays Texas Tech. I expect a lot of points in that game. A lot of points. And Oregon has not been that good this year. Miami should not have won their game. They did. That buzzsaw of Ohio State is going to be This will be their first game in almost a month. That's problematic for me. The reason why it's problematic is because how much rust will they have to knock off? How much? I don't know. But Miami didn't look that good versus A&M, but that defense showed up. Ohio State has a great defense as well. Beck is a national champion, if I'm not mistaken. Took Georgia, at least he took Georgia to the national championship game. And I believe he won one. Tough matchup. I'm gonna go Ohio State. Oregon and Texas Tech, I already said, high scoring game. I don't think Oregon is the team that it was, so I have Texas Tech winning. The game I wish my school was playing in, but they're not. Alabama versus Indiana. Menendez is a real deal quarterback. Real deal. And if Alabama comes out slow, Indiana's going to walk the dog on them. And they play pretty good defense. So a comeback might not be in the works for Alabama. I got Indiana. Ole Miss versus Georgia. Look, guys, let's keep it a buck. Ole Miss is very good. I think the interim coach has done a good job. I did notice the play calling was slightly different. You know, Lane Kiffin, not on that sideline. He's in LSU, didn't coach or help coach that team last night. But there was a slight difference in that offense. Slight difference. Georgia is not that big powerhouse that it was, because I'm not sold on their quarterback, but I'm sold on the team. Right? This is the Sugar Bowl. There are going to be more fans from Georgia than Ole Miss, I think. And I think that's going to be the edge. I really do. Georgia fans travel. They travel. And I think it's going to be like a home game for Georgia. I got Georgia winning the game. But that brings me to the issue. So, online, I have a clip on my TikTok and my Instagram and all that about Sharon, Sherrone, More. The AI picked up Jerome, but I said Sharon, right? I spelled it out. Sherrone. And a lot of folks are either with it or against it, right? And I want to say this. University of Michigan did something that was smart, and I'm not going to say bold, but they hired a 66-year-old coach that just stepped away from Utah. He's won at every level. Michigan has a lot of sanctions on them right now and next year. They're still getting commits, but they hired a guy that is safe. And put it this way. If they decide to terminate this guy's contract within a year or two, it's fine, because he was already ready to leave college football. He stepped away from Utah way before this situation came up. He said, this is going to be my last season, so on and so forth. He joked and said that he was stepping into the coaches portal, like the players portal, whatever, and he landed in Michigan. But at 66, I get it. You know, Nick Saban was doing a whole lot of stuff. past 66, but he's not Nick Saban. And his style of play at Utah is different than the style of play Michigan is used to. Now, with that being said, cold weather isn't an issue. Utah. But the maize and blue play a different style of football. And when you have that different style of football, you got to think about it. Is everyone up to that challenge? So Sharon Moore, he'll fade off into the darkness, right? I'm not going to talk about his ethnicity being, one of those things where it says, okay, well, they did the black man wrong. They did. Look, man, when you're in that powerful position, I don't care if you're married to a white, black, red, yellow, it doesn't matter to me. When you put yourself in that position or get yourself in that position, and then you put yourself in that position, it does affect other coaches that have melanin. Another way to say it. I mean, there's another way, but I'm just not going to be crude and crass about it. You are representing at that level, right? At that level, Eddie George, coach of Bowling Green. You're representing old boy at Notre Dame, who says, he's black and Asian, but claims Asian side, not a problem. Who cares, right? The fact is, you're representing them. Rich Rodriguez, name, yes. Ethnicity, yes. Passing, yes. You can't put yourself in those situations, Sharon, or any coach, for that matter, that already has a bunch of scrutiny on them. You can have those coaches that put their assistants on their bikes and have extramarital affairs and all that, and they get a second chance. They go to a mid-major, whatever, and they come back. And they get a chance. My guy, you probably are one and done at that level. Literally at that level. A Power 5 school. But how do we make sure we don't mess up the things for everybody else? You practice what you preach, especially if you're telling those kids, don't do what's right. You got to. Like yesterday, I found myself at practice jawing back and forth with one of the players. But I always tell my players, don't jaw back and forth with their opponent. Now, this was a practice. I had to stop myself and say, I can't do this if I'm telling them not to do it. That's the same thing, coaches. And I just use Sharon as an example, right? You cannot set everyone else up for failure if you're not practicing what you preach. That's it for that. For those online that are saying James Madison University, they only got those points because they saw this fourth, fifth stringers, you're wrong, kid. So wrong that the quarterbacks from JMU and I think Tulane and another mid-major school have entered the transfer portal going to Power 5 schools. They know what they're doing. Those guys, see, Neil has allowed places like James Madison to grab a 3-4 star, let them shine, build the program, and if the kid decides to move on, move on. That's why it was so important for James Madison University to go out there and put up 34 points on Oregon, a Power 5 school. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's talent all around the world, but we always don't see it. So the last thing I'll say on this is we have to be careful when we represent someone or an entity or a group. And just because they're not at a Baylor, which is a well-known school, in a power conference, they're not a Wisconsin, rich history, that a school like James Madison can't come in and do their thing. I'm telling you, watch. You're going to see a lot more of these schools pull the upset. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And I appreciate you. We'll be here next week. I'll tell you how many championships I won, or if I won any at all. Please. I'm going to tell you, there are 3 championships I want to win. I need to win. My league, a very lucrative league, and the one that my nemesis this year, Truck, runs. Now, I faced Derrick Henry over there, and I faced Derrick Henry in my league. I need a miracle in both. I was the favorite in both leading up until Derrick Henry playing. We shall see later today. Enjoy your football. I am out of here. See y'all when I see ya. Peace.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember,
face.
because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?